You're going to see outstanding work from our group. All right, thank you so much. And the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Board Member Teresa Lawson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. Roll call, Mrs. Vaughn.
Chairman, we have all in attendance tonight with the exception of Ann Hewitt. We have Dr. Sid Hill joining virtually.
Okay, and I'm going to read the policy that allows Dr. Hill to join us tonight. Absent board members may attend a regular or special meeting by electronic means if the member is absent because of work, a family emergency, or the member's military service. If a board member is absent due to military service, he or she may participate electronically as often as he or she is able to do so. However, a board member may not participate electronically more than 2 times per year for absences due to work and or family emergencies. A quorum of the board must be physically present at the meeting in order for any member to attend electronically. Any member wishing to participate electronically must do so using technology that allows the chair to visually identify the member. Sid and I have already waved. The responsibility for the connection lies with the member wishing to participate electronically. No more than 3 attempts to connect shall be made unless the board chooses to make additional attempts. All of that has worked beautifully, and this is policy 1.400. So we are glad to have everyone here tonight. Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Pat Welsh. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Teresa Lawson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Special items. Do we have anyone to address the board on an agenda item? Seeing that there's no one, we are moving on to something that our board is very excited about, and it is celebrating our principals and assistant principals. And we have talked about this, principals and assistant principals, without you knowing it for a while. We have wanted to celebrate all that you do for Tullahoma City Schools and how much we appreciate you. So we're going to start with Tullahoma Virtual Academy, Dr. Greg English, and we're going to ask that each principal come stand in the center because we know how comfortable that is to stand in front of everyone while we're talking about them and looking. So I'm going to read a little bit about you. Before becoming principal of Tullahoma Virtual Academy almost 2 years ago, Dr. English was a band director and vice principal. I've had the opportunity to work with him as a parent of one of his students and as a board member. And I got feedback from his students and his employees and actually a parent. He is firm and strict, but also laid back and understanding when the times are needed for, you know where you stand with him. These are student responses. Expectations for classwork are set high and might seem strict to some, but we need that. Helpful when you have questions about work or how to access the content. He is good at working with you if you have any issues that come up. He pays attention to each student and keeps up on how we're doing in our classes. He commonly checks in on us about how we're doing outside of school, and personally, he makes us feel heard. He also keeps us involved and lets us bring fun ideas to him about school culture, stuff, and peer interactions. He responds to students' emails in a timely manner and explores options for us if we need help with something. Example, getting paper, online tutoring, to help us with schoolwork. If and when things change, he's good at communicating that to us via email or remind. Your employees. I don't think anyone in the system works harder than Dr. Greg English. There is no manual for building a school from scratch. Recognizing the difficulties in executing virtual education, Dr. English has embraced the challenge and is committed to making Tullahoma Virtual Academy one of the finest schools of its kind. That's the vision and the expectation. I'm proud to work with him to accomplish this. On top of that, he makes coming to work every day a fun experience. Dr. English is someone that listens and works well with his staff. He's a good person that wants the best for his school, his staff, and the students. Greg meets each student where they are at academically and personally. He guides them into decision-making that furthers their academic knowledge and furthers their life skills. He sees the unique big picture for each student and does not fit them into a label or box. You had a parent that responded. It's good. Don't worry. Dr. English has done an excellent job at creating a successful virtual school from the ground up. He has worked to build an engaging learning space and really a cool environment for students. Dr. English continues to increase the offerings and opportunities at TVA, be that in courses or tutoring options. He does an excellent job communicating with parents and students. I think it would be easy to expect that this particular learning community could feel disconnected, but Dr. English has strived to build a responsible and interconnected community at TVA. Let us all celebrate Dr. English. We are presenting you with the best thing ever. A Tullahoma chocolate bar. Thank you, Mrs. Mom. Thank you, congratulations. We know the high schoolers have big things tonight and have to get out of here. So next we're moving to Tullahoma High School. Teresa Lawson.
Yay! Well, we have several to recognize at the high school tonight. First, let's invite Mr. Jason Quick and I guess everyone at the same
Yes,
time.
everybody
Okay.
can just come on up.
Easier numbers.
Derek Crutchfield, Dr. Renee Flowers, and Jesse Kinsey. So let me begin with Mr. Quick. Mr. Quick, whoops, hold on. Like several of us on the board, actually more than several probably, Mr. Quick is a 1984 graduate of Tullahoma High School. And he holds an undergraduate degree in secondary business education and a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Tennessee at Martin. He's currently enrolled in the Doctorate of Rural Education program at the University of West Alabama. He and his wife, Beth, have 3 children and enjoy spending time with family and friends when away from school. Okay, Assistant Principal Derek Crutchfield. He is a 1989 graduate of Tullahoma High School. And Mr. Crutchfield and I have crossed paths many times throughout our lives. We've worked together. We've gone to school together. So I have that relationship with Mr. Crutchfield. He has an associate's degree in general studies from Motlow and a bachelor's degree of political science and a master's degree in supervision and administration from MTSU. He is married to Rebecca, and they have one son, Malik. I'm sorry, I knew that. They enjoy spending time with family and riding motorcycles. And then we have Assistant Principal Renee Flowers, graduated with a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Florida, a master's degree in education from the University of Florida, and a PhD in leadership from the University of the Cumberlands. Dr. Flowers and her husband have 2 sons, Fisher and Phineas. Right, I love that name. They enjoy spending time together and visiting family and friends. And Renee, I think you were also involved in, was it CTE? No, that's Jesse. But before, were you? Yeah, okay, that's it. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Assistant Principal and CTE Director Jesse Kinsey graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology from Maryville College, a master's in social work from the University of Tennessee, and School of Counseling certification from MTSU, and an EDS in educational leadership from Lincoln Memorial University. She enjoys watching all three of her children play sports, gardening, and listening to all genres of music. So anyway, these leaders, they do such a fantastic job at the high school. We're so, blessed to have them with us. So I've got a gift for them as well.
She wants to know if there's money in that bag.
Well, next best thing, I guess, is chocolate.
We'll take it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And there you go. And I'll stay down here with my buddy.
We know those of you that are involved at the high school need to get on out of here. So please feel free to leave. Okay, now we are ready for East Middle School. Gigi Robinson.
Yes, so if I could have Woody and Caitlin come. You can bring them with you if you'd like. They're so cute. Thank you. Woody is the principal at East Middle, and Caitlin is the assistant principal. And thankfully, we are happy that you are full-time at East. And yes, and Woody has shared that with me several times. But Woody will have 20 years of service to Tullahoma City Schools. It doesn't look old enough to me to be able to say that, but he did. He started here in, he started in July the 23rd, and that year is wrong because it says 23. So, but before that, he had 5 years of teaching experience before he came to Tullahoma. He was at the high school from 2003 to 2007. In 2007 to 2014, he was the coordinated school health in that position. In 2014 to 2019, he was the principal at Robert E. Lee. And in 2019 until now, he has been the principal at East Middle School. So we thank you for your service. Caitlin will have 6 years of service at Tullahoma City Schools at the end of this school year. She had 5 years of teaching experience before she came to Tullahoma City Schools. She was a West Middle School teacher from 2017 to 2020. And I know you were sad to lose her as a teacher, but we're happy to have her in this role, and as now the assistant principal for East Middle. And she is also the assistant athletic director for all sports at East Middle School, so she wears that hat. I spoke with several of the teachers at East, and they shared with me some things that they really appreciate about Woody and about Caitlin, and I'd like to share those things with you. About Woody, I can always go to him about any situation. He listens and we discuss. Someone else said, Woody gets students. He can speak honestly, but with compassion. Another thing was his door is always open, and Woody cares about helping each student be successful. I'd like to add to that, in the discussions that I have had with Woody, that is very evident to me that he is concerned about every student in his school, and looks for ways that he can help to make each student be successful, because it's not the same way for each student, and I really appreciate that. Caitlin, what some of the employees had to say about you. Caitlin takes time to speak and say hello no matter how busy she may be. She always has the student's best interest as her #1 priority, and she is an incredible problem solver. And so I appreciated their input, because they are the people that are working with you on a day-to-day basis, and we are so thankful for both of you and what you do for our system.
Thank you.
And I know that y'all like this because this is what y'all shared with me too. I know, and.
Thank you.
I couldn't hide that. I couldn't hide that.
Thank you very much. West Middle School, Amy Dodson.
Okay, can I have Cindy and Miss Jill come up? So when I first started, I got on the website and I was going to read all of that, and I thought, you know what? I know both these ladies. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So I want to read what some of your colleagues have said about you, and then I want to also tell my personal experience with both of you. For Miss Cindy, Cindy is the principal also. She arrives early and stays late. She always puts kids first. She's always open to new ideas, and she's a firm believer in relationships with kids, which at middle school level, hats off to you, because I know that's difficult. She is flexible, and she always backs her employees. So for your employees to feel that way, that's a very high regards for you. And for Miss Jill, she is great with managing stress and behaviors. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, which I know firsthand. She doesn't mind if she has to be called in to help if there's a situation where there has to be a restraint, a cleanup messes, pick up trash, teach in the after-school tutoring program, etc. She's always willing to be there and help. And so that was some of the things that some of the staff members recognized. I've had the privilege to be a parent at West Middle School, not before Jill was there. So I could also say that I know from a parent's perspective, Ms. Herrera is always willing to listen to parents. She's always supportive, which is also critical because you want an administrator that always backs your teachers, but also someone that's very open to listen to parents too when they have concerns too. And sometimes that's a fine balance, and she does, my experience was she did a fantastic job with that. Jill, I worked with her quite a bit in our pre-K program, and she was always willing to help any way. She accepted all of the children, and sometimes that's hard at preschool. And so I know firsthand that she's always ready to do what needs to be done. I know that Mr. Hargrove was probably sad to see her go because I know you were right there with him, helping him with everything. But we just want to thank both of you all for all that you've done for our teachers and our staff and our students in Tullahoma City Schools.
Oh, Amy, we knew you Thank you all. Thank you so much. Bel Air, Dr. Sid Hill. He is on his way up. We'll have a hard time picking him up. Okay. Okay, try again.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Dr. Epley, can you hear me?
I can hear
Yes.
you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I think it's a lag time. So, although I cannot be here, please know that it is my honor to celebrate you and the work that you do in our community, specifically that being Bel Air. I have had the opportunity to see him firsthand. He is dedicated to the students and the families. You will not see him just in his office. You will see him walking around the school. I had the honor and privilege of visiting the school in December, right before school was let out, and meet the teachers individually, go into their classrooms, and they all said, Dr. Hill, we love Bel Air, and we appreciate Dr. Epley. I think that's a testament to your work, sir, and the dedication that you have for the school and the community in which you serve. Dr. Epley has already started so many things, yoga with the kids. In addition, he has worked on building the student council, so creating leadership even at an early age so that these students know that they can do any and all things if they put their mind to it. Dr. Epley has an amazing wife and two beautiful children, and we are so glad that he is a native of Tullahoma, and we appreciate the work that you do. Thank you so much.
Taking technology to new heights, new levels. Thank you so much. East Lincoln, Scott Hargrove. I am celebrating Scott Hargrove, principal at East Lincoln. Mr. Hargrove is a longtime employee of Tullahoma City Schools, having served in many roles: teacher, coach, assistant principal, principal, interim director of schools. I appreciate having the opportunity to work with him in my role as board member, but am going to share feedback from those who are with him on a daily basis. Employee responses. He takes the time to get to know each and every child's name, makes decisions based on student needs first. Time is valuable. Supports his staff, willing to pitch in whenever it's needed, from reading to math problems or even mopping floors. He does it all. Devoted, trustworthy, honest, dependable, a very hard worker, and is always there for the kids and staff. I have had a dozen principals in my teaching career, and Mr. Hargrove genuinely loves students far more than any principal I've had. He loves 100% every day with everything he has, and that's what makes him a great principal. Student responses. He is a good friend, Valerie from kindergarten. He helps people, Jacob from kindergarten. Oh, this is my favorite one. We do good in school because he tells us to follow the rules, and he keeps repeating it over and over. Darian from first grade. He makes sure nobody gets hurt, and he doesn't let people run in the halls. Raiden, third grade. Thank you, Mr. Hargrove, for all that you do for TCS.
Get my chocolate higher than a cliff.
And he does it over and over again. And he still has to keep doing it. Okay, Farah Pout Welsh is filling in for Andy Witt.
Travis Moore. Tonight I would like to celebrate Andy Witt's student principal, Mr. Travis Moore of Jack T. Fair Elementary. I thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Travis better this year. He is extremely dedicated to the school, the students, and the teachers. Travis was actually involved in the school's very successful trip. Thank you.
Turn that on and put that on.
Should have started again.
Take two.
Gotcha. I'm practiced up then. Tonight, I would like to celebrate Andy Witt's school principal, Mr. Travis Moore of Jack T. Farrah Elementary. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know Travis better this year. He's extremely dedicated to the school, its students, and the teachers. Travis was actually involved in the school's very successful trivia fundraiser this year. Andy personally attended the event and had an absolute blast, even though Andy did not win. What impressed Andy most about Travis is his relationships with the students. He has a great rapport with the students and even coaches some of them outside of school. I have witnessed personally how comfortable the students are to approach him and talk to him. Travis will respond to the students by name and are generally interested in what they are doing. They know Travis truly cares for them and wants them to succeed. He is patient with the students and will devote extra time to those who are having difficulties. Even though I've not witnessed it personally, I've heard that Travis is not above any task at the school that needs to be done. And I have witnessed some of that, including taking out the trash, working the cafeteria line, or calling cars at dismissal. We are lucky to have Travis in our school system and at Jack T. Farrah.
Thank you. Thank you. And we've got Robert E. Lee, Pat Welsh.
With Mike. Mary Gilbert. Several weeks ago, I think everybody knows that we had School Board Appreciation Week, and I had a great visit at Lee, and part of it was a presentation of about 100 handmade cards from all kinds of students. And I took them home and read every one of them. But one of them was written by a student who absolutely did not care about influencing me to help her. The only thing she wanted to do was look after children that didn't have the advantages that she had. She was completely selfless. And I'm sure that her family and her church helped her achieve that philosophy. But when I took the card back to Lee to find out whether she'd been coached or not, and after I was assured of that, I let Ms. Gilbert read it, and she quickly showed me that she does not suffer from dry eye disease. And that validated for me the belief that Ms. Gilbert truly cares about more than TCAP scores, and to that, you're to be saluted.
Thank you. And again, principals, this is definitely not enough. We wish there's so much more we could do for you, but we appreciate you so incredibly much. Thank you, thank you. Moving on to student celebrations. Dr. Stevens.
Yes, we love celebrating, as you can tell, and I want to start off with some of our bowlers. I know Christina Petty is here, and Rachel Mitchell, if you have appeared, please come forward, both of you. We're going to start off our celebrations this evening recognizing two young ladies who represented our district at the State Bowling Championship. These lady bowlers, Rachel Mitchell and Christina Petty, have qualified for the state bowling tournament for the past 2 years. Rachel, a junior, finished 4th in the region this year and 24th in the state bowling tournament. Rachel received the team award for the highest game score of 204 and had an average of 164 for the year. Rachel, if you'll acknowledge everybody with a wave so they know who you are. That's Rachel. And Christina, a sophomore, finished 16th in the region and 23rd in the state bowling tournament. Christina received the team award of Most Improved and had an average of 163 on the season. Let's give these all-state star bowlers a round of applause. We are so proud of you.
There's a board member that has Pat.
Thank you. I'm trying to get Lamont to come up here.
All right, while we wait for him, Christina, if you'll wave to everybody, I'm Christina Petty. All right, here we go.
He's coming up. He's going to be recognized. He's getting recognized.
Yes.
Is it going to be next? Or do we need to sit back down?
No, it's all right.
Sit back. We are bringing on the fantastic bowling coach, Lamont Snipes. Let's all smile and look at Zach. All right, congratulations. Next, I'm going to invite some of our singers, and I think I'll just sing this whole message. No, I won't. But anyhow, all right. Annalise Spain, Gavin Good, Elizabeth Holman, Kyra Gentry, Ariel Vaughn. I believe that's all my friends. Come on, come on. All right. Aren't they adorable? Yes. Look at those smiles. All right, let's hear about these amazing young singers. The Tennessee Treble Honor Choir is made up of 5th and 6th grade choir students from across the state. In October, these students submitted a recorded audition and were selected out of hundreds of auditions. Let's repeat that. How many auditions? Woo! To perform at the annual Tennessee Music Educators Association Conference held at the Gaylord Opryland Convention Center in April. Tullahoma City Schools had around 20 students audition and 5 were selected. They are standing before you, and when I call your name, just want you to give a little wave so everybody knows who you are. Annalise Spain, Gavin Good, Elizabeth Holman, Kyra Gentry from Bel Air, and Ariel Vaughn from East Lincoln. Also, Annalise Spain from Bel Air Elementary was chosen to perform in January with the Middle Tennessee Vocal Association's Elementary Honor Choir. We are so very proud of our students and their hard work and going above and beyond. Let's give them a round of applause. We're going to get a nice picture with Mr. Birdsong. Yes. Everybody say, me, 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 me. There we go. Thank you, Ms. Hines. Congratulations. And I hope our next student is here. Did Marissa Drummond make it in? All right, Marissa, come on forward. We have another student being celebrated for penning an award-winning poem. And some of you may not realize, but I like poetry as well and write it, although I think hers is much more professional and literarily perfect. So, THS senior Marissa Drummond entered some artwork and a poem titled Die Twice in this year's Scholastic Art and Writing Contest. Marissa was notified recently that she was awarded the Silver Key Award from the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. Some pretty influential people have also won this award, such as Andy Warhol and Stephen King. How about that? Whoa, she's joining the ranks. Marissa will pursue a bachelor's degree in architecture from LSU this fall with the help of nearly $100,000 in scholarship money. Woo. So proud of her. Help me in congratulating Marissa on this outstanding achievement. All right, excellent, excellent. So much fun.
Thank you all so much, and I know lots of you have other activities that you need to get to, so feel free to head on out. We'll give you a second to exit. Staff celebrations, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, I'm very excited to continue the celebrations this evening. As you all know, Tullahoma City Schools has been recognized numerous times by the Tennessee Arts Academy and Arts Partner School System. There are numerous reasons why we continue to receive this in-state level recognition. And an educator that we are celebrating this evening is just one of those very reasons. So Melissa Hines, if you would please come forward. Melissa does an extraordinary job leading the choral department at Tullahoma High School. She is only in her second year in the district, and membership in her classes has increased by 200%. She has taken an ownership of this program and the facilities associated with it to create a program for our choral students that they can truly be proud of. And I've had the great fortune of being in her classroom twice in the month of January, hearing them practice. I've also had them sing for all the superintendents, which you happened to miss when they were here. But we'll have him hear them another time. Just amazing what you are doing with our young people and giving them the opportunity to sing, express themselves, learn how to be in the presence of people, to look forward with shoulders back and be proud. And the pieces you're selecting, my friend, they are challenging, very challenging, and it's just so impressive. The Tennessee Arts Academy created the Teacher Heroes in Arts Education Award to recognize teachers who put their talents and creativity to work every day play in the education of our students. Incredible work is being done in your classroom, Ms. Hines, and the state of Tennessee is calling you out by naming you as the first 2023 Tennessee Arts Academy Teacher Hero Award winner. Help me in congratulating Ms. Hines.
Congratulations. Thank you. Lots of celebrations. Athletics update, Coach John Olive.
To keep on with one more last celebration. Our bowling coach, Mr. Lamont Snipes, is going to retire. And Lamont has been our head bowling coach for the last 9 years. 6 times his boys' teams have qualified for the state tournament as a team, while his girls' bowling teams have gone to the state twice. Every year, Lamont has either had multiple bowlers qualify individually, or the team has qualified for the state tournament. Lamont has been recognized by the TSSAA as the State of Tennessee Bowling Coach of the Year. Lamont has had Ron Jackson all 9 years and Clyde Petty for 8 years as his assistants, and they will also be retiring. Several others have played important roles in making our bowling team successful during Lamont's tenure as a bowling coach. Lamont's coaching tenure for middle school, high school as both an assistant and as a head coach in the sports of boys basketball, girls basketball, boys bowling, and girls bowling spans more than 3 decades. Lamont, I don't have any chocolate candy for you, but I do have a plaque that we'd like to present to you. Presented to Mr. Lamont Snipes in appreciation for loving and caring for the children in the Tullahoma school system. Sorry. Did you coach the high school bowling teams, both boys and girls basketball teams, as well as the middle school boys basketball team? We thank you.
Thank you so much. I have known Lamont my whole entire life. His mama was like a second mama to me and was a best friend to my mother. So we appreciate all that you have done.
Thank y'all. I ain't got much to say. I was retired 2 times.
That's right. That's right. That could be another one.
43 years out to the base, 35 plus here. I'm done. But I've seen, I think, 5 superintendents go through, do good now, because you won't last long. I've seen 5 principals went through, and I don't get the right person here. I don't know, y'all might be the right person. Ever since I've been in that school, I graduated at 6 to 7. We need to do something with the trophy case. It's bad. It was there when I was there, and it's still there. And we need to do something. We don't have enough room to put plaques in for the girls and the boys. All hours in one. Y'all go look at it. You put a facelift. If it was football, we'd have had something.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Lamont. A real quick report about transitioning from club sports to TMS AA sports on the middle school level. It's going well. There's been a few hiccups along the way, but we've been able to make most of them get smoothed out. We've transitioned to all sports that were eligible. We are getting ready to begin the second season with spring sports, and many of the spring sports have funds in their accounts left over from their season last year. One of the largest hurdles that we've had to overcome, and Amy's been involved some and so forth, the club sports couldn't understand that the money that was coming in for their sport went only to their sport. They were worried that it was going elsewhere, and therefore they wanted to hold it in their bank accounts as they had done as club sports, and we have worked our way through most of that. Last year, we had spring sports that began their season. Last fall, we had sports that began their season with very little money in their accounts. Now, the vast majority of them have money ready to go into their next season. We only have 2 club sports that operate within their own organizations at both the middle school and high school, and that's the swimming and the bass team. Our basketball season on the middle school level's come to a close. Middle school girls finished number 1 in the area small school tournament and hosted a first-round sectional game before finishing their season. Their head coach is Fred Robinson. On the high school level, our boys basketball team, with no seniors, missed the region tournament for the first time in 4 years, losing to Spring Hill with 1.2 seconds left to play. Jason Welch is the head coach. Our girls basketball team played for the district championship again last night, finishing second to Lincoln County. We now have a streak of 6 straight years of going to the region tournament. Our girls basketball team is coached by Chad Hibden. We will host first round region game this Friday at our place, 7 p.m. Our boys wrestling team finished 6th in the state duels. Pat can correct me if I'm wrong. Tied for 5th. Is that the way it's phrased? I wasn't sure how they. All right. And has qualified 6 individual wrestlers for this week's individual state tournament. Our girls wrestlers have qualified 6 wrestlers also for this state tournament. Sean Atkins is the boys' head coach, and Eric Fernbacher is the girls' head coach. And we'll report on their success at the next meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you. Band presentation, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, I'm very excited to welcome Justin Scott with us this evening. He's got some handouts and materials for you to view. As you know, in the past, band has taken trips to various places, and we even tried to go to Europe, right, Mr. Scott? Didn't quite work, but that's all right. While their travel does not require board action, I asked Justin to come tonight to share a bit about the next trip they have planned. Mr. Scott.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Is this on? Check, check. All right. So as Dr. Stevens mentioned, you know that it has been quite the whirlwind over the last number of years. The last official big trip the band took was when we performed at Pearl Harbor in 2017, which was a memorable experience that will always live in our hearts. It was amazing. We were slated to go to Ireland a few years later. Then the world hit pandemic and everything shut down. We postponed, rescheduled going back to Pearl Harbor. Then we had to cancel that. So I'm excited to be here tonight to say that we are not postponing, we are not canceling, but we are kicking off a new band trip. So we're really excited about that. So we did some research on some different locations. As you know, costs have increased. Everything is more. And we did look at returning to possibly Pearl Harbor or Ireland, but it's just too cost prohibitive at this point right now. Something maybe down the line. So we wanted to keep it inside the continental United States, and California was a great option, and that's what we're here to kick off to you all tonight. We've officially kicked the trip off, and students are actually beginning to sign up for it and continuing to sign up. As you can see on the cover page here, just a few facts for you all that we are anticipating at least 100, if not more, passengers to travel on this. A little bit smaller than when we went to Pearl Harbor. We took 220 passengers on that one, but we're hoping that that goes up, and then as I think people will get more comfortable with travel over the years, we'll hopefully get back to normal on that. But we're really excited to at least take that many. As you can see, that will be about 2 to 3 flight groups. Myself, as well as Mr. Hensley, Dr. English, we all have experience taking kids on planes overseas, but this one obviously is not overseas. But so we are very comfortable with this. The company is going to divide them into as few groups as possible. If we take 100 passengers, that's likely going to be 2 to 3 flight groups leaving at various times and then arriving in the San Diego area. We always take chaperones with us. As I said, the trip cost there, we talked about the passengers already, but the trip cost for each individual student is $2,775, and we've divided that up into 13 payments. And we are offering plenty of fundraisers, as we've always done in the past, and I've listed those there for you to see. We are actually today ended the cake roll and coffee fundraiser, and we'll be kicking off our bowling card fundraiser next, so be on the lookout for that if you like bowling. A few of the performance opportunities. We are not going to perform on this trip, rather attend performances. We've done this in the past simply because of the nature of the turnaround from Ireland to the cancellation of Ireland to Pearl Harbor and the cancellation of Pearl Harbor. It just didn't work out for us to kick off a huge trip with enough time to plan for like 2 years out, essentially. This way our seniors, the next year senior class is going to get a big trip they haven't had. Many of our seniors have never been on a band trip, honestly. When we canceled Ireland and Pearl Harbor, we went last spring to Universal Studios, and we took like 45 kids, and it was mainly the seniors from last year, just so they could have a band trip. So we're really excited to offer this to our students. So current 8th grade through 11th grade students are eligible to travel on this with us, as well as their immediate family members. Some of the highlights, we're going to get to hear the LA Philharmonic and Disney Hall, a Broadway performance. We're waiting on the schedules for those to be released. Grammy Museum tour, Hollywood Movie History tour, and much more. On the second page and third page is kind of the breakdown from the actual trip company itself, so that you all can kind of see where we're going and what we're doing. As you can see the dates, we're going over spring break. And if you happen to hop on a plane and meet us there while we're there, we'll say hi to you. But I just wanted to give you all this information so that you had it and knew what we were going to be doing in the next coming year, and we're really excited to travel to California. So, do you have any questions for me?
No question, just so happy for
Yes, I'm excited to
be planning a trip.
to get to do this again. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh, and I do want to say we are really excited to once again travel with the Gateway Company. They were absolutely incredible. Every single one of our passengers throughout all the cancellations, postponements, and everything got 100% of their trip money back, which is unheard of. I mean, there were so many stories of other band programs around the country that lost so much money, and so they were really good to take care of us, and so we're going to definitely continue doing business with them because they've been a great partner for us. So,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go.
Besides the website and
Yes.
social medias, what's the best way for people in the community to find out about your fundraisers to help support these students?
I mean, again, social media, we'll do as much as we can, and then honestly, some of it, the kids are, will come out and ask, and we always encourage the students to start right inside their own buildings, because it's amazing the number of teachers that never get asked. But yeah, just keep an eye out. We'll try to get things on our website. This full packet with the more details of the payment plans and all that is on our band website. You can check that out if you want to. But yeah, we'll just do our best to keep it on our Facebook group. Lisa runs our Instagram. I'll help run the Twitter, but we'll do as much as we can to keep through social media getting the word out that way, for sure.
I know being I was in the choir department.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of my friends that were in the band. They always want to continue to support students of the band right now. So
Thank you.
Sometimes they don't always get on social
Absolutely.
media to see.
Yeah.
Maybe just in Tullahoma. So I'll be sure that we just want to make sure that they have them.
Yeah, and if you have any other ideas, let me know. I'd be happy to definitely explore those for sure. So, okay.
Good.
Anybody else have a question? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a great night.
Great. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Gigi Robinson, second.
Second.
second by Amy Dotson. Any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Moving on to unfinished business, buildings and grounds. Report, Teresa Lawson.
Okay, well, we've got, as usual, so much going on. And I want to thank Hank Jordan for all he's done to help guide, take the ship over and help guide us and jump in there with us. But I'll start off with Tullahoma High School. The weather, and we'll start with the tennis courts. Weather has delayed applying the final surface to the tennis courts. The contractor, at their cost, will apply playing lines and install the nets on the asphalt surface. Once weather permits, the playing surface will be applied, and that's when we don't have rain for so many days. We don't. The temperature is above 50 for a certain amount of days. So we're hoping that we're getting there. We're getting to that time of year where we'll probably, hopefully, be completing that fairly soon. The rubber stair treads replacements were completed during winter break. The south parking, now this is all still at the high school. The south parking lot lighting improvements were completed in January. Our interior door lock changeout is scheduled for spring break. The lower gym has leaks on the sidewalls and roof. The committee discussed waterproofing both the roof and sidewalls to try and alleviate the leaking. The primary gym floor will need to be replaced in the next 2 years. We discussed that. At Bel Air, the roofing project is complete. The metal fascia will be replaced. Hallway painting has been completed. And we'll move on to East Middle School. Train has received 5 of the new HVAC units and plans to swap these units out over the summer break in coordination with East Middle School's schedule. The remaining units are not expected in until August at the earliest. Train will try and schedule ductwork cleaning over summer break. And the fire suppression line leak was repaired. Additional follow-up work to bring the line up to code is required. Okay, West Middle. The sidewalk project was awarded to G.H. Reed Concrete. Work will begin when the school year ends. And Robert E. Lee. The playground asphalt pad replacement project was awarded to G.H. Reed Concrete. Work scheduled to begin during summer break. A 6-foot vinyl fence was installed in January. It looks fabulous, by the way. If you haven't seen it, please go by and see it. The fence runs perpendicular to the school between the building and adjoining neighbor. And during winter break, a kitchen sprinkler line burst and Chattanooga Fire repaired the leak. Moving on to East Lincoln, the committee discussed the lighting control system, and that's all I have to report at the moment regarding that. And then central office, OLG is working on plans for adding a ramp and expanding the existing porch area and railings. Additionally, plans for a sidewalk from the rear to the new parking area on the north side of the building. And that's all. Pat, do you have anything
I was just
to
gonna
add?
ask Coach Oliver, I doubt we have anywhere near the weather requirements, but to see if there's any update on the tennis courts.
Tennis courts are presently being used by our middle school and high school tennis players. When I left today, they were out there practicing. The weather itself has not been cooperative, and I don't expect it for us to get it any time in the next month. I figure we're 45 to 60 days out before we get 4 straight days of no moisture and it not dropping below 50 degrees at night.
And John, could you sort of explain about the pickleball courts? Because I think we've had some questions regarding the pickleball.
I can't, I need to come back up here.
Okay. Well, actually, we can hear you.
Okay.
But for television.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What we have built are 4 tennis courts, 2 and 2, and then we built a tennis wall. Where we built the tennis wall, we realized there's enough room on each side of the tennis wall for a pickleball court to be placed on each side of the wall. So that area, which will be courts 5 and 6, will be for pickleball use, or those nets can be taken down and I can use the tennis wall as a tennis player.
Okay. All right.
Okay? So that's where the pickleball courts will be.
Okay. Thank you. Pat, was there anything? I'm sorry I cut you off in the...
No, you did not, and you did a good job.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Buildings and Grounds, always lots of good stuff. Fire suppression line, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you. As Ms. Lawson mentioned, we had a leak on January 29th to the fire suppression line entering East Middle School. Chattanooga Fire Protection came immediately, 2 days later actually made the repairs. However, there are additional repairs that are required to bring the line up to code. The scope of the additional work that Chattanooga Fire Protection has recommended, along with the requirements from the State Fire Marshal, include the addition of an 8-inch DCDA backflow preventer inside a new stainless steel enclosure, which we would build. We'd have to put a concrete pad down for that enclosure. The quoted price for these repairs is $46,401.93. Because these repairs are on the fire suppression line, limited companies are qualified and licensed to perform the work. Chattanooga Fire Protection is one of those companies. They did the immediate repair. They also service and monitor our sprinkler system, so they know, they're very familiar with the inner workings of our system. Because of these factors, we recommend proceeding with these repairs with Chattanooga Fire and Protection for $46,401.93. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the quoted price for repairs to the fire suppression line in East Middle School in the amount of $46,401.93?
So moved.
Motion by Pat Welsh. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Teresa Lawson. Any discussion or questions for Mr. Jordan? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Lawson?
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Mrs. Vaughn. Mrs. Vaughn, sorry.
She is the citizen of the...
I know. She's everything. East Lincoln water heaters, motion passes, sorry. East Lincoln water heaters, Mr. Jordan.
All right, thank you. This actually came up after our Building and Grounds Committee. One of East Lincoln's 2 water heaters went out. We need to address that quickly. The recommended replacement model is a 100-gallon Conquest semi-instantaneous gas condensing water heater. The cost to replace the water heater is $26,800 and can be purchased from Supply Services, Inc. in Nashville. We recommend purchasing the water heater from Supply Services, Inc. in the amount of $26,800. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jordan. Do I have a motion to accept the quoted price for the replacement of a water heater at East Lincoln in the amount of $26,800?
So moved.
Motion by Gigi Robinson. Is there a second? Second by Amy Dotson. Any discussion?
I'm somewhat amused about the term semi-instantaneous. That'd be like Coach Olive saying one of his linemen was semi-quick.
True.
Good point.
Anything else? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn.
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Now we're going to make some crazy adjustments right here. And Mrs. Vaughn isn't even aware of this either, because we are going to move to Daniel Berry and let him give his report if he has anything he wants to share, because he's going to need to skip out too. City Board Liaison, Alderman Berry.
I don't have much to share. I did miss the 2 student advisory dates, and so I'm going to get with you next dates on that.
Tomorrow. I have two. I have one at TBA and one at THS.
Can you send me the times on those?
Yes.
And I will
we'll send you
try.
those. There's two tomorrow. Very good.
That's really all that we have going on right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we're not going to talk about it.
Thank you so much. And didn't mean to confuse everyone, but we need to get, okay, good. Okay. Thank you very much. 2023-24 budget, Mr. Jordan.
Well, in the next few weeks, we will begin in earnest, kind of moving forward with planning for the 2023-24 school year budget. We did send out building level requests to the principals last month, gathered that data. We'll need to kind of sit with maintenance. Dr. Stevens, we'll start that soon, prioritizing looking at those requests. And then, as you know, everyone's aware that the state is moving to a new funding method, TISA. We were given some guidance months ago, kind of generally where we think we would be. Those results were based on kind of a 4-year average of the data they're going to go into the formulas. We had turned in kind of last year's information. We tightened that up. That was due on the 15th. The state has that information. We expect, honestly, probably not until April before we kind of see again revisions of where we're going to be from there. So that's kind of my report for now on that. If you have any questions.
Report. Thank you so much, Mr. Jordan. And honestly, I don't know if I want to laugh or cry for you. I cannot imagine coming in at the point that you came in to this position. A whole new funding formula right in the middle of budget and everything. And we just appreciate you so much because you're just rolling right along from what we can tell.
Yeah,
what we can
from
tell.
what you can tell. Normally calm here, but I appreciate that. And I think it's a good time to come in and learn a new system, actually, so fortunate.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. We're all about learning here. New business, fall club sports. Dr. Stevens.
Yes, so all club sports, which our athletic director alluded to earlier, they must be approved by the Board of Education prior to beginning their activities. Policy 4.303 defines club sports as extracurricular athletic events sponsored by community organizations under the auspices of the Tullahoma City Board of Education. The following club sports are presented for board approval. At the middle school level, bass team, swimming, and 6th grade basketball. The high school level, swimming, and bass team. Administration recommends accepting the fall club sports as presented tonight.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept those fall club sports as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Amy Dotson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gigi Robinson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn. Thank you so much. Textbook adoption, Ms. Fanning.
We're excited about our math adoption textbook for this year that will begin the 2023-24 school year. The district math adoption team has worked diligently over the course of the 2022-23 school year to review, evaluate, solicit input from stakeholders, work with vendors, field test curriculum, and ask questions as they seek to make the best recommendation for adoption for our Tier 1 math curriculum for Tullahoma City Schools, which will begin next year. The district team recommends the following, and these are taken from the state-approved adoption list. So we had a list from which we could choose, and this is what they are recommending. For elementary, in grades kindergarten through 5th, SAVIS, many of you may know that as Envision, from many years ago. Middle and high school, and our Algebra 1, that is for 8th grade, to use Big Ideas Math. At the high school level, for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, and Pre-Calculus, SAVIS. For statistics, Bedford, Freeman, and Worth. And for Calculus AB and Calculus BC, Cengage. That is the recommendation of the District Textbook Adoption Committee.
Very good. Thank you. Is there a motion to accept the math textbook recommendations as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Teresa Lawson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Pat Welsh. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all, Chairman.
Very good. Thank you so much. Professional Learning Plan, Ms. Fanning.
Board Policy 5.113 notes the steps involved in developing the district-wide professional learning program each year. As a part of this, a committee with representatives from all schools gathered to identify our needs, evaluate professional learning options, solidify scheduling, etc. I would like, as we look to the 2023-24 school year, there are an array of topics that the committee believes would be impactful to our participants. Some of these topics include the science of teaching reading and literacy, implementing new math standards and curriculum, incorporating vertical alignment in writing, social, emotional learning, restorative practices, and so much more. The 22-24 Professional Learning Plan is presented to you this evening with hopes of your approval.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to accept the Professional Learning Plan as presented? Motion by Gigi Robinson. Is there a second? Good. Second by Pat Welsh. Any discussion?
I read the report earlier.
Yes.
And it was very impressive.
Yes.
Wonderful. Our district committee has really worked hard to talk with all members of our district from all different positions to find out what do they really need. And so then we try to build our catalog of summer opportunities and opportunities even outside of our summer scope so they have access to the information they need for our students.
Very good. Yes, it was an excellent report. Anything else? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Fanning.
Thank you.
New positions, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, it's always exciting to come before you with the possibility of new positions. Per Board Policy 5116, when a new position is added, board members must be provided a job description, the qualifications necessary for that job, and the professional responsibilities, duties, etc. of the role. We are requesting 2 new full-time middle school STEM teachers to be added for the upcoming year, which will be fully funded next year through the Innovative Schools Models Grant. So this is not going to be in our general purpose budget. This is already grant funding approved for next school year. After the 23-24 school year, it will be partially funded through that grant at the level of 66%, then our system will pick up 33% in general purpose. And our finance committee is aware of this staggering, the change, if you will, over the course of the next few years. Eventually, by 2027, it will be fully funded under our general purpose budget. In your board packet, you are provided with the job description for these middle school STEM teachers, which provides all the information that you need, qualifications, duties, etc. And they will be evaluated under the current Project Coach observation protocol because they are a licensed educator, like an 8th grade math teacher or 6th grade ELA teacher. This evening, I am seeking your approval of these positions so we can post them and move forward, particularly as we have our upcoming job fair. We are wanting to get out posting in advance of that so that we can be prepared to welcome candidates who may be interested in these positions or other. I respectfully request your approval on these 2 new middle school positions that are a part of the Innovative School Grant funding for the 23-24 school year so that we can post them, move forward with making recommendations for these positions. Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to accept the 2 new positions of middle school STEM teachers as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Amy Dotson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Gigi Robinson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn.
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Very good. Board vacancy. This definitely is not one of the happy parts of this job right now. We are so happy for Dr. Hill and his family as they move on to new experiences and adventures, and we so appreciate his time on the board, his education background, and everything he does related to public education and secondary education has made a big impact on all of us, and I know we have all really enjoyed serving with him. And we'll take a motion and then see if anybody wants to say anything. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of Dr. Sid Hill?
So moved.
Motion by Teresa Lawson. It's very reluctant that we're
Yes.
doing this. Very
Yes,
reluctant.
that wasn't a happy
No, it's
motion.
not. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Pat Welsh. Any discussion?
Well, I would like to say to Sid how much I just appreciate his service on the board, and that we are very sad. We're happy for him, but we're very sad for us, and we don't have to vote. But if we don't vote to accept
That's
him,
right.
then he can't go.
That's right.
We'll have to come back here.
But we do really appreciate, I personally appreciate the perspective that he has brought to the board.
Yes. Yes. Dr. Hill, would you like to say anything?
I will be very brief. I feel like I'm in the Zoom call and doing a sound check, so I'm assuming everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Superintendent Stevens, Catherine, I got it right correctly after 3 years, Chair Lady Upton, and fellow board members, it has been an honor. This is a board that is educated and places a focus on education, and we do it with class and decorum. I have never been more honored to learn about processes that I did not know. You have provided me an opportunity to give back to the children of our community, and for that I am ever so thankful. And I will say this, Pat Welch, I was hoping Lamont would stay because Lamont is my second cousin, and he actually gave me the jacket in which I'm wearing. But he left, so I'll have to give him a hard time. But guys, I promise you, I just want you to know what an honor it is to serve the community and to serve beside you. Because during COVID, it was very difficult. We had several challenges, but we always persevered, and we did it with class. And to that, I am thankful. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hill. All those in favor of accepting his resignation, please raise your hand. Opposed? Mrs. Vaughn?
That's all in favor, Chairman.
Okay, I want to give him a... We're standing up for you, Dr. Hill. He's laughing. Thank you so much. That was not easy. District report, superintendent's report, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, there is someone else here to recognize. She is the Tullahoma News Citizen of the Year. And she does incredible work for the school board as she serves as secretary of this school board and as she serves as the assistant to the director of schools. I personally could not imagine doing my work without such an amazing partner. And I watch her navigate among all 8 of us with grace and finesse and style and such professionalism. And I just deeply appreciate it. Kudos to the person who wrote that nominee, who sits quietly in the back room, our communications specialist, Zach Birdsong, for seeing such worthiness to be recognized in this way. And I know our chairperson will agree how much she enjoyed the attention when the Tullahoma News came to visit her and present that award to her. Let's give her a well-deserved. So last month when we met, our leadership team, about 19 members of our leadership team were in the midst of level 2 leadership coaching. And so today we completed that work of level 2. It's a 4-day course, each level. And we are really honing our skills of helping people become their best self through strong listening, paraphrasing, great questions, and really helping guide individuals, whomever we serve, whether those are children or adults, family members or others. And what I've heard from several members, and I know some folks here will attest to that, this training impacts the whole person when you participate. So many of our leaders talked about their personal life and the impact this training has provided to them. So it's very exciting, and I look forward to seeing how it unfolds in people's life as we continue to practice the skill. So last week was Conference Central. Dr. Vaughn, you were there in San Antonio, AASA. I was there for the Women in Leadership Consortium. Dr. Vaughn was there for the National Conference. The challenge here recently with AASA and TSBA is the Legislative and Legal Conference and the Superintendent Annual Conference is happening at the same time. So I intend to share with TSBA the desire for them to maybe reconsider their date so that superintendents can go to this conference and really learn together as a collective group, because there's such benefit to that, especially when you broaden your view and you're really talking to people across our country about things they're talking about, battling and so forth, and bringing that back to your own space. So certainly we did both of that. I did the front end, you did the back end there. I think we high-fived as one was leaving, the other was arriving. And also I attended, along with Gigi and Kim and Sandy, the TSBA legislative and legal update. We got some great updates about some areas where they are strongly in support of some legislative ideas, some opposition that they hold. We got some federal updates, and it's just really helpful to have that information, to really put that in your mind and give us the ability to speak to our legislators. I was sitting in the conference and heard about one piece of legislation and immediately zipped an email to one of our legislators who's sponsoring that particular bill. I think it's just important that we're aware and we're communicating. So that was an exciting week last week, Conference Central. And then Friday came in from TSBA and we found ourselves at the Chamber of Commerce, that annual celebration, which was a lot of fun. And I'm just really proud to say our very own Andy Witt was celebrated as the incoming Chamber President. So he is going to have a very busy year as he serves on the school board and serves in that president role. But we're really proud of him. It's great stuff, and it's just a joy to be a part of Tullahoma. There are so many neat things happening. Additionally, our board chair did an exceptional job reading the accolades of the CEO, award winner, CEO Business of the Year, and that was Stan McNabb Automotive. I mean, what an incredible business they are to this community and beyond, what a difference they make in our schools. And it was neat to hear our chair just really celebrate their accolades, how long they have been invested in our school system. So that was really a fun night. Albeit I was tired, it was still a fun night. So I also want to take time, you may have read in the paper, but just in case, I want to acknowledge one of my student advisory members. He has, again, for the 3rd year in a row, been celebrated as one of the brightest students in the world by John Hopkins Center for Talented Youth. That's Joaquin Tenaglia Canute. So there's over 15,300 students representing 76 countries that joined this talent search from 21-22. And he was one of the participants that qualified and was honored with this distinction. Just to give you an idea, the executive director, Dr. Amy Shelton of the Center for Talented Youth, states this is not just a recognition for our students' success on one test, but it's really a salute to their love of discovery and learning and all the knowledge they've accumulated in their young lives so far. I'm so very proud of Joaquin and all of his academic achievement. He is such an amazing young man and extremely talented. Some more students just to recognize, to keep everyone aware of some great things happening. You know, we've talked about music and we've talked about poetry and we've talked about all kinds of great things happening. Well, we had several high school students participate in auditions and interviews at the Thespian Conference held at MTSU. This event takes place every year for the theater arts program across the state. This is All State Theater's second year in existence, so these students are helping to put Tullahoma on the map for theater alongside programs from across the state. So we have several students who will now register and go to an in-person workshop or college fair day later this year on April 15th. So selected for mid-state acting, we have 4 students, Jackson Bennett, Luke Yates, Logan Madrid, and Avery McLean. For mid-state musical theater, Jocelyn Turrentine, and for mid-state technical theater, Callie Evie. I'd also like to share an update on the FARA project. You know, this project has been slow and steady, and I'm really looking forward to some progress. So we had a really helpful meeting where Principal Travis Moore, our board member Pat Welsh, who serves on the FARA project as one of his committees, Mr. Jordan and I met with representatives from OLG, the engineering firm, Billingsley Architecture, where our architect is from, and American Constructors, our construction management firm. And we now have new small-scale renderings that were created so that we can tap into the current FARA structure, so taking away our idea of leaving that structure exactly the same and just adding on, we're now going to come into it a little bit more. This is because, as you all know, someone said earlier, prices have gone up, things have changed, and so we've really had to look at how can we save dollars, reduce some square footage to get what we want in that structure and still potentially have this early childhood center available for all of our pre-K and our Little Cats Learning Academy. So we do have a drawing. It's a rendering. It's not an official final thing. So I really would invite you to stop by the office. I have a big copy. Mr. Jordan has a big copy. Take a look at it. We're going to make sure everything's in there. He and I spent some time looking at it today, making sure all the classrooms we wanted are in there, and we're going to invite the principal to take a look, make sure all the spaces are there before we go any further with it. We want to get to a place where we can get those finalized drawings so we can move forward with bidding out the project and getting that building built. So we're getting there. It feels like we've really made some strides, which is exciting. I mentioned earlier when I talked about the new positions for the middle school level, we do have a job fair coming. I hope you'll talk about that and spread the word. This is our second annual job fair. I want to commend Dr. Norris for her leadership in organizing that event. That's Saturday, March 4th from 9 to 11. Remember, we're inviting anybody. So if someone's thinking about subbing, if someone has some strength in maintenance or technology, any area, we welcome them. We do on-the-spot interviewing. Where we have postings, we're even willing to get a little contract going where we can sign you on the spot, and then you can go through the rest of the hiring process. So March 4th, 9 to 11 at the high school. And please stop by, any of you that you just want to say hi and see everybody, because every school will have a table and be all kinds of fun. And before you know it, after that, spring break is going to be knocking at the door. I just can't believe I'm even talking about it. So really, it's just in a little over 3 weeks, believe it or not, that our students, teachers, and staff will be out for a week of fun and rest. Everyone will be ready to return Monday, March 20th for the last quarter. Did I just say that out loud? The last quarter of the school year. And then we'll be back together at our March meeting on the 21st when we celebrate our Teachers of the Year. Madam Chair. Big update there.
Thank you. Excellent report. Again, I want to say on behalf of the board, congratulations and thank you to Cody. We're now referring to her as Cody as the Citizen of the Year. Sandy Vaughn. She is going to milk this for everything that it's worth. Also, the Legislative and Legal Conference was excellent. There was a portion of it that we could have all done without, but the rest of it was excellent. And I believe, and I think that all of us that were there would agree that it's more important than ever that we are paying attention to bills and really reaching out to our legislators. And they don't have to be necessarily just legislators that we're voting for. Anyone on those education committees needs to hear from us. Please reach out. It's a lot. It is very confusing, even if you've been involved with it for a long time. It's a lot to try to keep track of. And TSBA has just got a great handout on the things that they have chosen, that their board has brought to the rest of us and chosen to oppose or to the opposite of support. Thank you. The opposite day. But anyhow, please reach out and let's make sure that we all, because board members have a huge voice, and we need to make sure that it's heard. Excellent. Thank you so much. City Board Liaison Report, we already have that. Personnel, Dr. Stevens.
Yes, the personnel report for February was included in BOE Connect as an attachment.
It was great. Thank you. Monthly financial report, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you. And the financial packet ending through the month ending January is also included in your packet. If you have any questions, let me know.
Thank you so much. Is there anything else to come before the board? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Gigi Robinson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Teresa Lawson. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.